Hi David, I'm Emma, and this is Charlie, who we also call Charles, but she is a female dog. Just a good tip to know. And yeah, I'm taking Charlie here to Blue Ranch.
Blue Dog Ranch?
Blue Dog Ranch, sorry. Taking her here to Blue Dog Ranch because she needs to get manners. Charlie, this morning I woke up, she had chewed up my blanket, there was feathers everywhere. She kind of doesn't really have social skills with other dogs that I would like to incorporate with that. She nibbles things, what else does she do? She's such a sweet dog. She's got no aggression in her. She's just very, very hyper, and she's just a baby. She's only 1 year old. So yeah, I'm just hoping that she can get trained and I can be able to bring her out to places, bring her out to lunch with me, have her sit down. I want her to learn sit and walk and not to be so timid. Charlie has severe anxiety. Like, she's very anxious, and I wrote that down in the thing, and I brought her these melatonin pills that you can give to her once a day. I think I've blabbered enough. Thank you.
I want to explain to you and demonstrate the best way to come into this yard where Charlie is. And I know Charlie's had an issue with like being super excited and getting jumping and maybe even a little bit of play nipping just because she's so excited to see whoever's coming over. And we're at this front gate. So whoever's in here, maybe the owner or whoever's here helping, comes and hands something of high value. In this case, Charlie doesn't seem to like cheese, but I have some flank steak that I've cut up into little tiny pieces. Anything that's like super special for her that she doesn't get every day is the thing to use in circumstances like this where you want her behavior to change quickly. So we're using something very special that she loves, and there's little pieces of fat on here. It's great. So usually somebody would be here and she'd be super excited, and so whoever's on the outside comes and, on the inside comes and hands to the person on the outside, and then unlocks the gate from inside, which is already unlocked, and then you come in like this. Good girl. See how one hand has the treats, the other hand pets, and then we close this, of course, and we continue doing that. We continue doing that, and she's interested in somebody out there. Good. Notice how I reward, pet, and say good at the same moment. Timing is super important with this stuff. Good. Just like that, everything happens at once, because everything we're doing with rewards, with treats, is geared to phase them out. So if I come in, I'm going to do it again. If I do this a number of times, and if everybody does this a number of times, and if there are visitors every day, it could just be a week. Doing this for a week, everybody does it, maybe 20 different people do this in a row. No mistakes, just the same way, just exactly like I showed you. You come in, no treats. Good girl, love her up. She won't even miss the treats. And then you don't have jumping anymore. So everything's geared to phase the treats out, just in case you're thinking we don't want to have to give these treats forever. You don't have to do it forever, because you tie the good and the petting, the attention, the love together at the same instant you got the treats. It just hot rods that learning process. She gets it. Look how she's sitting here. Of course, I did come in before, like 10 minutes ago or so, but still, this is what you'll have if you consistently do this. It changes her behavior in this spot. Everything good happens down here. Don't wait for her to jump, because then you've kind of blown it. You come in that gate with the treat and the petting and the good girl, and you perform a lot of repetitions of this, and it could just be a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on the dog. She doesn't jump anymore, but for a while you got to be careful and make sure you do that. If she does jump, nope, she gets nothing. Do not do this. Don't say leave it or off or whatever people would say. That's why she likes to jump, because people talk to her, give her energy, say no, say ow, that hurts, do this. It's a game to her. Good girl. It all happens down there. And then if she does jump, nope, she's going to have to figure out, what did I just do to make all the good stuff stop? You go like this. No, the hands go up in the air. It's obvious the hands moved away because of what she did. You turn it all around on her. You starve out the behavior that you want to go away by not correcting it and giving it attention. And she runs up to you like this. Good girl. You feed the behavior that you want to grow in strength. If she was getting excited right now or kind of nipping my hand or something, nope, you blew it. You're getting all the good stuff, and then you had to do that. you'll see it changes very quickly. So we're not correcting anymore because corrections are attention for bad behavior. And we love her, everybody loves her, she's a member of the family. So there's no way you could ever correct her severely enough for her to stop that. And even if you did, you create other problems. So correcting just isn't going to work well here. Making her scared of people and feeling pain would never work, and you never want to do that anyway. So I know, so show Charlie. See how Charlie's paying attention to somebody out there with their dog? I don't know what Charlie's going to do. I think Charlie probably barks in these situations, right? Come. Good girl. Take her in the house. Or you're at the doorway. Right now the camera person's at the doorway. If I'm there, call her to come. Grab your special. She needs a special treat here for a while to get this. So whatever your usual treats are, I think that you need to accelerate this process of learning. I think you need to use what I'm using. I'm using this flank steak right now. Little tiny pieces. It's not about the amount. It's about the taste, really. So little teeny tiny pieces, and teach her that anything out there is a trigger to come back and find you and get paid. And you're always doing, of course, when she comes to you, good girl, loving her up, petting her at the same moment you give her the treat, because timing's everything, of course. Not good girl and then treat, or treat and then good girl. It's all at once. Good girl. And then you phase the treats out later on. She doesn't even miss it. All right, so I know another issue you're having is calling her away from the fence and the gate when somebody's walking past, probably other dogs or people are coming in. And so you want to practice your recall like this, and somebody's holding on to Charlie behind the camera person right at the gate. You want to come here and say, come. Good. This dog, Charlie, needs more motivation right now in the beginning than just you calling her to come and loving her up. So for a little while, you're using a super great reward. You already talked about that in the last clip. And it's the way that you start a new behavior, and so you don't have to work on it for months or years maybe, is you got to use something. Of course we're going to use something that motivates her to want to do it. So of course you're going to use some sort of really high value reward, because if you don't, where she's at now, you're going to say, Charlie, come, and it's a game for her because she loves you to say her name and talk to her, and then you might have to chase her down and grab her. She loves all that. So you want to motivate her, do something to motivate her to do something different. And if you ever have issues, like she came right to me, but of course I'm the one that trained her at my house for a number of weeks. So if it's not this easy for you, which it's not going to be, this is how you get to this point, and I'm going to show you. Okay, this is the area and the spot where you're having an issue, and so obviously she knows she's got a good recall. She's got her other skills are very solid. So it's time to practice those skills in the spot where you're having the issue, in the heat of the moment. And so do it with a leash, because the leash is a way to gently but firmly reinforce every command. You never repeat a command. If you say it twice, you've diluted the power of that. So we never repeat the command, ever. The way we get to this point where the dog always does it the first time is we gently but firmly reinforce the command with a leash. Gently but firmly is the operative phrase. There's no jerking, popping, correcting. It's just somehow the dog's like, oh wow, I got there, and somehow I just heard it once and I ended up coming there and something good happened. So I'm going to show you. So she's wandering over there. Whoa, hold on to her. We're almost there. Come. So you got this long line. Good girl. If she doesn't come to you, you back away and draw her over here like this. Oh, we have a dog right there. Come. Good. And I gave her a big old handful of chicken breasts that I had. And so she's been back home for a couple of weeks, and I can tell this is what she's been practicing. But look at her going nuts. Come. Good. You need to see how you need the leash to reinforce that. All she knows, she heard it once. She ended up coming to me. I gave her a big old handful of high value rewards. Here's another exercise that you need here. Every day, even if you just set your timer for 60 seconds, you need to do this 1 minute a day at least. Sit. You need to practice with her waiting in a sit stay at these boundaries. Nope. See how she popped up? Step into her like this. Gently but firmly put her back. And if she pops up 5 times in a row, you gently but firmly reinforce that 5 times in a row. She needs to know you're serious about this. But there's no rough stuff, there's no anger. See how she waited the second time? Okay, just do this exercise. I said 60 seconds. You need 2 minutes, maybe 3. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. Sit. This boundary is sacred. This is your boundary, not hers. You practice her waiting to go in and waiting to go out. It's a great way, okay, to practice a sit stay. Sit. This is where most dogs have an issue. Front gate, front door. If you can do it at that front gate, just make sure you look both ways and nobody's coming. You can kind of prop it open and do it there too. That'd be a great place to do this. See how she's waiting? With the long line, you get to step farther away. See how far I am? It's a 15-foot long line. And you notice I'm not even using treats for this. Okay, she did this so many times in my house that I stopped doing treats. Once a dog learns something, you phase the treats out because we're only using the treats for the big problems. And I would say, it's not a huge problem, but I would say the problem here is coming when called out of this front yard area where she sees dogs and people walking past and people at the gate. So that's why I'm using the high value rewards for this stuff. But for all this other stuff that she knows so well, we don't need treats because she just does it because it's what she does. It's her job. She loves to work because of the way she was taught. Go. When I am going to train Charlie, and Charlie has been on free time and has no idea that we're going to do training, she's on free time. She's just hanging out. I didn't tell her to sit. She just decided to sit here. Good girl. I could love her up, pet her, whatever. But if I want to get her on the clock, I'm going to step into her. Okay. Just do a little circle like this. And in this case, we're going to say down. And notice how I just helped with my foot a little bit, because I think that she's been back home for a while, and here it's not like my house. It's not the place of structure. It's fun and games here. So you might have to do what I just did, but notice that I said down at the same moment I did that, because if you do it this way, pretty soon you're going to have down without the foot. That's how I taught her, and at my place she just goes down, but it's always different at home. So that's the way I got it to be that way at my place. Down at the same moment. You'll barely have to put any pressure on a leash like you saw. Stay is built into down as stay is built into sit, so you don't have to say stay. It's irrelevant. I taught her from day one to wait to be released. So when I say DOWN, it just means to stay there. I'm going to drop the leash and walk into the other room, then come back. And she gets, no. If she makes a mistake, you say no. See how I stepped on the leash? Gently but firmly put her back. I just said no. If I wasn't talking to you, I just would have said one word. No. I'm going to go back to where I was. Come back again. Got a little piece of chicken here. She loves chicken breast. Good. So she made a mistake. I reset her. I did it again. Second time, she did it the right way. She got rewarded. You can do all kinds of things. You can practice walking around her, always go around both ways so it's always even. Always reward her from in front. If you just did this once a day for 3 or 4 minutes, this would really make a big difference too. Good. See how she takes it off the floor. Don't let her grab it out of your hand or anything. Make sure that you put it on the floor, and when you withdraw, she takes it off the floor, not out of your hand. And even a better way to practice that is like this. No. No. See how I pull back? See how she's waiting? Good. There's like a 3-second gap there. where everybody's in the moment together. You put a bunch of and then she pops up and you say no. You might have to reset her. Mistakes will happen here. See how she put herself back? All that happened was she lost focus, forgot what we were doing, and popped up. So you work on this like this, and you see her focus getting better and better. Every day she makes less mistakes, stays down longer. You come back, she gets a reward like that. Make sure she always waits that way, because you want the byproduct of this to be when she's released every day. You do this for a few minutes, she's released, she's a little bit calmer every day. That makes for a much happier dog. So one last reward. No. Make sure you don't let her touch your hand. See right there, see that? Good. Say, okay. She's gonna stand up, say sit. And then from a sit, pat her chest and say, go. Then she's free.